I grip my screwdriver tighter, taking one last look at the restored crown moulding before heading to Sunday dinner. 5 years of weekends, countless YouTube tutorials, and more splinters than I care to count, all poured into transforming this 1940s guest house from a termite heaven into my sanctuary. My name is Oakley, and I'm about to lose everything I've built. Sweetie, could you pass the potatoes? Mum's voice carries that sugary tone she reserves for bad news. I've heard it before. When she told me my cat died, when she explained why Travis got my college fund, when she announced Travis was moving back home for the 3rd time. I slide the ceramic dish across our antique dining table, noting the fresh water stains on the wood. Another problem they won't address until it's too late. How's work? Dad asks, not looking up from his roast beef. The software launch went well. We're ahead of schedule for Q3. I keep my voice neutral, professional. It's easier that way. Travis slouches in his chair, phone in hand. God, Oak, you sound like a corporate robot sometimes. Mom shoots him an indulgent smile, the same one she gave him when he dropped out of community college, when he borrowed her car and crashed it, when he needed bail money. Actually, Mom clears her throat, we wanted to discuss something important with you, Oakley. Here it comes. Travis needs a fresh start, Dad jumps in, his tone practiced. And we've been thinking the guest house would be perfect for him. The screwdriver in my pocket feels heavier. I installed new cabinet handles this morning, picked them specially to match the vintage aesthetic. We know you've done work on it, Mom continues, waving her hand dismissively. But family has to come first. Travis needs stability right now. I think about the mould I discovered behind the walls, the ancient wiring I documented, the foundation cracks I photographed, all carefully filed away on my laptop. When? I ask, cutting into my meat with surgical precision. 2 weeks should be enough to pack up, right? Dad says it like a statement, not a question. Travis can help you move. Travis finally looks up. Yeah, sis, I was thinking that space where you put your desk. Perfect for my gaming setup. I remember the weekends spent sanding that desk, matching the wood grain to the original flooring, the pride when I finally got it right. You're taking this better than we expected, Mom beams, reaching for more wine. We worried you might be difficult about it. The irony almost makes me laugh. They think I'm being reasonable because I'm quiet. They've never understood that quiet doesn't mean compliant. Where will I go? I ask, more curious than concerned. Oh, honey, you're so capable, Mom dismisses. You'll figure something out. You always do. And there it is, the familiar pattern. Travis needs help, so Oakley needs to adapt. Travis deserves support while Oakley can handle herself. Travis gets chances while Oakley gets expectations. Thank you for dinner. I stand up, collecting my plate. I should get started packing. That's my responsible girl, Dad nods approvingly. Walking back to the guest house, I pause to look at the main house. Really look at it. The sagging gutters, the mismatched electrical outlets, the unpermitted addition they built last summer. 5 years of watching them cut corners, ignore regulations, and dismiss my concerns. Inside my soon-to-be former home, I boot up my laptop and open a folder labelled Main House Violations Final. 49 documented issues, each with photos, dates, and relevant code citations. 5 years of meticulous record-keeping, just in case. My phone buzzes, a text from my best friend Amber. How was dinner? I type back, time to cash in those receipts. Opening my email, I find the contact information for Eli Burke at the city inspector's office. We went to high school together. He always had a strong sense of justice. I attach the folder, add a brief note about immediate safety concerns, and hover over the send button. In my pocket, the screwdriver presses against my leg, a reminder of everything I've built, everything they're taking. My finger clicks the mouse. Message sent. I lean back in my chair, feeling lighter than I have in years. They think I'm being reasonable because I'm quiet. They're about to learn that quiet doesn't mean powerless. Let the inspection begin. The first box I pack is full of renovation receipts, 5 years of Home Depot runs, specialty hardware orders, and contractor consultations, all carefully organised by date. I'm halfway through taping it shut when Travis barges in without knocking. "Hey sis, just checking out my new digs." He spins around the living room, arms spread wide. "Man, you really cleaned this place up. Remember how gross it was?" I remember. I also remember him laughing when I said I'd fix it myself. "Where are you thinking of putting your stuff?" I ask, knowing the answer will hurt. "Oh, definitely getting rid of these boring curtains." He tugs at the hand-sewn linen panels I spent weeks making, thinking maybe some blackout blinds for gaming, and that workspace you built in the corner, perfect spot for my streaming setup. My phone buzzes. An email notification from the inspector's office. Inspection scheduled for Tuesday, 2 p.m. "You okay?" Travis waves his hand in front of my face. "You've got that weird smile again." "Just tired from packing," I say, stacking another box. "Lots to do in 2 weeks." "Mom said you're handling this really well." He flops onto my couch, the one I reupholstered myself. "Usually you're so intense about stuff." The doorbell rings before I can respond. It's Amber holding 2 coffees and wearing her "I'm here to help but also to judge" expression. "Brought reinforcements," she announces, eyeing Travis. "And boxes, lots of boxes." Travis takes the hint and leaves, but not before calling over his shoulder. "Oh yeah, Mom and Dad already gave me money for new furniture. We're thinking of doing a whole remodel." Once he's gone, Amber hands me a coffee and raises an eyebrow. "Please tell me you're not actually okay with this." "I sent the files," I say quietly, "to the inspector." She nearly spits out her drink. "All of them? The wiring, the foundation?" I nod, pulling out my phone to show her the confirmation email. "Holy shit, Oak." She sits on a packing box. That's nuclear. What made you finally do it?" I pick up a framed photo from my desk, me at 12, Travis at 7. I'm helping him with homework while wearing a too big apron, already playing Mom because ours was having a difficult day. Remember when Travis totaled Mum's car last year? I carefully wrapped the frame in bubble wrap. They bought him a new one the next week, said he needed reliable transportation for job interviews, which he never went to, Amber adds. Meanwhile, I had to fight for 3 months to get them to fix the leaking roof here. They said I was being dramatic about a little water damage. Amber helps me pack my tools, each one a reminder of something I learned to do myself because waiting for help meant waiting forever. "Your parents called me yesterday," she says carefully. "Asked if you could stay with me just for a little while until you sort yourself out." I laugh, but there's no humour in it. "Let me guess. They didn't offer to pay you rent?" "Nope, but they mentioned how Travis really needs this opportunity to find himself." My phone buzzes again, a text from Mom. "Honey, we're thinking of having a little welcome barbecue for Travis on Tuesday afternoon. Would you help set up?" Tuesday, during the inspection. Of course. "They have no idea what's coming, do they?" Amber asks, reading over my shoulder. "They never do." I start dismantling my carefully organised tool wall. They're so used to me being quiet, being reasonable, being understanding. "Being a doormat," Amber corrects gently. "Not anymore." I check my watch. Exactly 1 week until the inspection. You know what the worst part is? They didn't even ask if I needed the money from all these renovations. 5 years of investments just given away to Travis. What are you going to do when they find out? I pull out my documentation binder, copies of every permit application they forged, every contractor they paid under the table, every safety regulation they ignored. "Nothing," I say, adding the binder to a box marked "Evidence." The truth will do all the work for me. Amber helps me label another box, then pauses. "Oak, are you sure you're ready for what this might do to your family? I think about the exposed wiring I found last winter. how Dad laughed when I mentioned fire hazards, about the mould behind Mom's quick-fix wallpaper, about Travis, who's never had to face a consequence he couldn't charm his way out of. They stopped being family the moment they decided I was disposable, I say, sealing the box with precise, angry strokes of packing tape. Now they get to learn what that feels like. Travis corners me in the driveway as I'm loading boxes into my car. He's holding a furniture catalogue, dog-eared pages fluttering in the spring breeze. "Check this out. Mum and Dad are getting me this sweet sectional," he says, pointing to a leather monstrosity that costs more than 3 months of my mortgage payments. "Think it'll fit against that wall you redid?" I pause, cardboard box balanced against my hip. "The one with the custom wainscoting?" "Yeah, might have to take that down. Not really my style." He flips to another page. "Oh, and they're letting me convert your office into a streaming room. Already ordered the soundproofing panels." The box in my arms suddenly feels heavier. That office took me 6 months to complete. Rewiring, custom shelving, restored hardwood floors. Every inch built with my own hands. "When did they give you money for furniture?" I ask, keeping my voice steady. "Last month." He shrugs, still flipping pages. "They wanted me to be ready when the time was right." Last month. They'd planned this all along. "Hey, while you're here," Travis continues, "what's the deal with the electrical panel? Dad mentioned something about not touching it." I set the box down carefully. 2 years ago, I discovered the panel was dangerously overloaded. Dad's solution: wire an illegal sub-panel and hide it behind drywall. "Maybe you should ask Dad about that," I suggest, pulling out my phone to snap one last photo of the hidden panel's location. For the record, "Nah, he said it's fine, grandfathered in or whatever." Travis waves dismissively. "Besides, I need to add some outlets for my gaming setup." My phone buzzes. An email from Eli at the inspection office requesting additional documentation about the unpermitted electrical work. I forward him the photos, including the one I just took. "You're being weird," Travis narrows his eyes. "Usually you'd be lecturing me about safety codes by now." "Not my house anymore, not my problem." I shoulder past him to grab another box. "That's different," he follows me inside. "You feeling okay? Mom said you might be depressed or something. That's why you're so calm about moving." I stop at my workbench, the last thing left to dismantle. Every tool has its place, each one representing a skill I taught myself while they were busy bailing Travis out of his latest crisis. "Did they ever tell you why I moved into the guest house?" I ask, methodically wrapping chisels in protective cloth. "Because you're weird and like fixing stuff." He picks up my favourite hammer, swinging it carelessly. "Because I caught Mom forging my signature on a loan application." I take the hammer from him, pack it away. "They needed money to cover your gambling debts. I agreed to stay quiet if they let me renovate this place instead of selling it." Travis's face flushes. "That was years ago. I've changed." "Have you? Because last week I found out someone tried to sell this house behind my back. Any idea who?" He shifts uncomfortably. "Look, I just mentioned to Dad that I needed a place. And naturally, they decided to give you mine." I close the tool chest with a decisive click. "Just like they gave you my college fund, my inheritance from Grandma, my—" "It's not my fault they want to help me," Travis snaps. "Maybe if you weren't so perfect all the time, they wouldn't feel like they have to protect me." A car door slams outside, Mom arriving with more furniture catalogues, no doubt. "Travis," she calls out, "the designer's here to measure for new windows." I check my watch, exactly 24 hours until the inspection. "You should go," I tell him. "Lots of decisions to make about my house." "It's not your house anymore," he says. But there's a hint of uncertainty in his voice. "And what's with that smile? You're creeping me out." Mum appears in the doorway, designer in tow. "Oh, good Oakley, you're packing. We'll need this space cleared by Monday so the painters can start." I pick up my toolbox and head for the door. Behind me, I hear the designer asking about permit requirements for structural changes. "Oh, we don't worry about those things," Mom laughs. "It's all grandfathered in." I pause at my car, watching them through the window, Mom, Travis, and the designer, planning their renovations like kids playing house. They have no idea that in 24 hours, their perfect little plan will collapse like the house's compromised foundation. My phone buzzes one last time, confirmation from Eli that all documentation has been received and reviewed. The inspection is now scheduled for 2 p.m. sharp. I start my car, smiling as I watch Mom point out where Travis's gaming throne will go. Let them plan, let them dream, let them think they've won. Tomorrow, the house of cards comes down. I park across the street at exactly 1:45 p.m., watching neighbours stream into my parents' front yard carrying casserole dishes and wine bottles. Mom's gone all out for Travis's welcome home barbecue. There are balloons tied to the mailbox and a hand-painted banner that reads, "Fresh Start." Amber slides into my passenger seat, handing me a coffee. "You ready for this?" "Look," I point to Dad, firing up the grill. He's using the propane tank I told him was leaking last month. A white city vehicle pulls up at 1:55 p.m. Eli steps out, clipboard in hand, looking exactly like the kind of by-the-book inspector who'd shut down a family barbecue. Perfect. "Your mother's going to have an aneurysm," Amber whispers, as Eli walks up the driveway. I can see the exact moment Mom spots him through the kitchen window. She freezes, wine glass halfway to her lips. Dad's still obliviously flipping burgers when Eli reaches the front door and knocks. "City Inspector's office," his voice carries across the lawn. "I need to speak with the homeowners." The party goes quiet. Travis emerges from the guest house, gaming headset still around his neck. "There must be some mistake," Mom's sugar-sweet voice floats out. "We're having a family gathering." "Mum, I have documented reports of multiple code violations, including Class A safety hazards." Eli holds up his clipboard. "I'm required by law to conduct this inspection immediately." Dad abandons his grill. "Now, listen here. Sir, are you aware you're using an unauthorized propane connection that violates city fire code?" Eli points to the tank I'd flagged. More neighbours arrive, awkwardly hovering at the edge of the yard. "This is better than I'd imagined." "Who reported us?" Travis demands, storming up to Eli. "This is harassment." Eli flips through his papers. "We received detailed documentation of 49 separate violations, including photographic evidence of unpermitted electrical work, foundation damage, and..." He squints at the page. "Ah, yes, an illegal sub-panel hidden behind drywall in the guest house." Mom's wineglass slips from her hand, shattering on the porch. "The guest house?" Travis's face goes pale, then red, then purple. Oakley did this." He whirls around, scanning the street until he spots my car. I give him a little wave. "This inspection is unnecessary," Dad tries to intervene. "Everything's grandfathered." "Sir," Eli cuts him off, "falsely claiming grandfather status is a separate violation. Now, shall we begin with the basement?" "You can't do this today," Mom pleads. "We have guests." "Actually, Mrs. Porter, having unauthorized occupancy during documented safety violations increases your liability. I suggest your guests leave immediately." The neighbours start backing away, murmuring among themselves. Someone's definitely filming on their phone. "Travis, honey," Mom calls out, but he's already storming toward my car. I roll down my window as he approaches. "Problem?" "You vindictive bitch," he spits. "You couldn't just leave quietly, could you?" "Funny," I reply calmly. "That's exactly what I was going to do, until I found out you and Mom tried to sell my house behind my back last month." His face gives it away. He didn't think I knew about that part. "The designer you hired yesterday," I continue. "She's an old college friend, told me all about Mom's plans to flip the guest house once you got bored with it." "Miss Porter," Eli calls from the porch, "since you're here, would you like to walk us through the documentation you provided?" Travis's eyes widen. "It was you. You've been documenting everything." 5 years of receipts, photos, and violations. I open my car door. Want to see the file where Dad forged my signature on the permit applications? You've ruined everything. He kicks my car tyre. No, Travis, you all did that yourselves. I just kept really good records. I walk toward the house, Amber following close behind with her phone, ready to record. Mum's mascara is running, Dad's face is thundercloud dark, and Eli is already writing citations. Let's start with the basement mould, I suggest helpfully. It's behind that wallpaper Mum put up last spring. You know, the weekend Travis needed bail money so you couldn't afford proper remediation. Oakley, please, Mom whispers. We can talk about this. Actually, we can't. I point Eli toward the hidden electrical panel. That's what family meetings are for. This is just city business now. Travis storms past us all, slamming the guest house door so hard the illegal addition's walls shake slightly. Should we document that structural instability? Amber asks innocently, phone still recording. Oh, definitely. Eli makes another note. Now, about these foundation cracks. I stand back and watch it all unfold. 5 years of shortcuts and cover-ups exposed in a single afternoon. Mum's crying, Dad's threatening lawyers, and Travis is having a meltdown in my former office. Happy housewarming, I mutter, as Eli starts measuring the unpermitted deck extension. Sometimes karma needs a little paperwork to get the job done. The texts start at midnight. My phone lights up like a Christmas tree with family fallout. Mum, how could you do this to your own blood? Dad, we raised you better than this. Travis, you vindictive psycho. I'm sleeping in my car because of you. I silence my phone and pour another glass of wine in Amber's kitchen, where I'm temporarily staying. The inspection report arrived an hour ago. 23 pages of violations, fines, and mandatory repair orders. Your aunt's calling me now, Amber says from the couch. Want me to answer? Put her on speaker. Oakley? Aunt Elizabeth's voice crackles through. I just heard what happened. Your mother's hysterical. Is she more upset about the violations or getting caught? I take another sip. Both. She said you've been, what was the word, documenting things. 5 years worth. I pull out my laptop, opening the folder of evidence. Want to know what I found last month? They tried to sell the guest house to cover Travis's new truck. Used my forged signature on the listing agreement. Silence on the line. Then, Jesus Christ, Bella. Did Mom tell you they gave Travis furniture money before even telling me to move out? No, Elizabeth sighs, but I'm not surprised. You know, when you were kids, I told your mother this favoritism would backfire someday. My phone buzzes with another text. This one from a neighbour. FYI, Travis is trying to break into the guest house. Called the police. Perfect, I mutter. Now he's adding criminal charges to the mix. What happens next? Elizabeth asks. The city gave them 30 days to fix the critical violations or face condemnation. They'll need licensed contractors, proper permits. I pause as another text comes in. And apparently Travis just got arrested for drunk and disorderly. Amber looks up from her phone. Your mum's posting on Facebook. Says you're having a mental breakdown and spreading lies about the family. I forward her the inspection report. Post that in the comments. Oakley, Elizabeth's voice softens. I should have said something years ago. The way they treated you, it wasn't right. Save it, I cut her off. Everyone saw what was happening. Nobody did anything. My laptop pings. An email from a contractor I'd consulted last year about the foundation issues. He's attached photos of Dad trying to hire him under the table to falsify repair documents. Forward that to Eli, Amber suggests. Add it to the file. Another text from Mom. We're going to lose everything because of you. I type back, you already lost me. The rest is just paperwork. The neighbours are talking, Elizabeth says. Sandra next door told me they're worried their property values will drop when word gets out about the violations. They should be worried about their houses, I reply. Dad did unpermitted work on half the street. My phone rings. It's the police station. Travis wants me to bail him out. Let him call Mom, I tell the officer. I'm not family anymore. Amber closes her laptop. Your mum's post backfired. 3 other neighbours just commented about their own issues with your dad's contracting work. I think about my ex-boyfriend's words from college. You're never angry, and that's part of the problem. He was wrong. I wasn't never angry. I was just waiting for the right moment. Holy shit, Amber scrolls through her phone. Someone posted the body cam footage from Travis's arrest. He's screaming about how you sabotaged his fresh start. Fresh start? Elizabeth scoffs. He's 30 years old and has never paid his own rent. Another email notification, this one from Dad's lawyer, threatening legal action for defamation. Forward him the forged permit applications, I tell Amber. See how fast he drops them as clients. My phone buzzes one last time, a text from Mum. I hope you're happy. You've destroyed this family. I think about the mould they ignored while buying Travis new cars, the electrical hazards they dismissed while paying his gambling debts, the foundation cracks they covered up while covering his mistakes. No, I text back. I just stopped protecting you from consequences. Elizabeth clears her throat. Your mother's sister is supposed to be neutral, but I'm proud of you, Oakley. It took guts to do this. It took evidence, I correct her. Guts would have been standing up years ago. Amber pours more wine. Speaking of evidence, want to see what your dad just posted about the inspector being biased? I forward her Eli's credentials and the full documentation. Post that too. Let's see how long he keeps lying when every claim meets proof. The night grows quiet, except for the ping of notifications. Family imploding in real time, one text at a time. Tomorrow there'll be more threats, more tears, more attempts to make me the villain. But tonight I sleep soundly, knowing that sometimes the best revenge isn't just serving justice, it's having the receipts to prove it was deserved. They're shutting off the utilities today, Amber announces, scrolling through her phone as we sit in her cabin an hour outside the city. Your mum's having a meltdown on Facebook Live. I'm curled up in an Adirondack chair watching birds dive bomb the lake. 3 days since the inspection, and the dominoes keep falling. Did you see the notice from the zoning board? I ask, pulling up my email. The one about the illegal rental units in the basement. Your dad's response was colourful. My phone rings. It's my lawyer, Sarah. I put her on speaker. Good news, she says, without preamble. I've documented all your renovation expenses. If they try to claim any ownership of the improvements you made to the guest house, we have proof you funded everything independently. How much? Amber mouths. Total investment of $87,000, Sarah continues. All from your personal accounts, all with receipts. They can't touch it. A text pops up from Elizabeth. Travis tried moving into the guest house anyway. Fire marshal just escorted him out. Your brother's going to catch charges if he keeps this up, Sarah warns. That's his second trespassing warning. I stand up, walking to the edge of the dock. The water is perfectly still, reflecting the clouds above. Behind me, Amber's phone keeps buzzing with updates. Oh, damn, she calls out. The neighbours are filing a class action. Apparently your dad did unpermitted work on 7 different properties. 8, I correct her. Mrs. Rodriguez just found out her new deck isn't up to code. Sarah clears her throat. Oakley, Eli from the inspector's office wants to meet with you privately. Says there's more to discuss. More violations? He wouldn't say over the phone, but he seemed concerned. A new email lands. Photos from a neighbour showing Travis trying to break into the guest house through a window I'd specially restored. The antique glass is now shattered. Something inside me breaks too. 5 years, I whisper, then louder. 5 years I spent fixing that house. Every window, every floorboard, every inch of trim. And he just breaks it. Amber's beside me instantly, hand on my shoulder. Let it out, Oak. You're allowed to be angry. They never saw me. My voice cracks. Not really. I was just convenient, the responsible one. The reliable one. The one who'd always understand. The one they took for granted, Amber adds softly. My phone lights up with a call from Mum. Instead of ignoring it like usual, I answer. What? The city inspector is here again, she's crying. They're saying something about the load-bearing walls Travis removed yesterday. He did what? He was just trying to open up the space for his gaming room. We didn't know. Stop! My hand tightens on the phone. Every time Travis breaks something, you call me to fix it. Not anymore. But the fines, the repairs, we can't afford... Should have thought about that before you tried to sell my house behind my back. Silence. Then, how did you know about that? I know everything, Mom. Every forged permit. Every illegal modification. Every time you chose Travis over safety, over legality, over me. We're your family, she whispers. No, you're just people who kept expecting me to set myself on fire to keep Travis warm. I hang up as Sarah's voice comes through the speaker. Oakley, Eli's here. He wants to talk now. Put him on. Miss Porter. Eli's professional tone has an edge of urgency. We found something in the main house's structural assessment. Someone filed permits under your name last year. The signatures, they're not yours. The pieces click together. The addition they built for Travis's home gym. Yes, given the evidence of forgery, this moves beyond code violations into criminal fraud. Amber squeezes my shoulder as tears finally start falling. Not sad tears, relief tears. Years of pent-up frustration and anger washing away with the afternoon light on the lake. Send everything to Sarah, I tell Eli. Every forged document, every false permit. What are you going to do? Amber asks after we hang up. I look out over the water, watching a family of ducks glide past. They move together, supporting each other, no one left behind. I'm going to let the truth do its job, I say, wiping my eyes. No more fixing their messes, no more understanding their excuses, no more being the responsible one. And Travis? Travis can learn what I learned years ago. Actions have consequences, and sometimes those consequences come with fines and criminal charges. My phone buzzes one last time, a text from Dad. Please, we need you. I turn off my phone and face the setting sun, feeling lighter than I have in years. No, I whisper to the fading light. You needed me to need you. There's a difference. Your signature appears here, here, and here. Eli points to the permit applications spread across the coffee shop table. But according to the date stamps, you were in Seattle for a coding conference when these were signed. I sip my latte, examining the familiar but wrong versions of my signature. Mum always said I write my O just like her. We've identified 17 separate forgeries, he continues, sliding over more documents. Most for work that directly endangered occupant safety, like the load-bearing wall Travis knocked down. That's actually what triggered our expanded investigation. The demolition revealed multiple unauthorized modifications dating back years. My phone buzzes. Another text from Travis. They're charging Mom with fraud. Hope you're happy, you heartless bitch. Eli glances at the message. Your brother's not helping their case with these threats. He never learned about consequences. I set my phone face down. None of them did. The city's pressing charges. Eli closes his folder. Criminal fraud, multiple safety violations, operating without permits. They're facing significant fines and possible jail time. The bell above the coffee shop door chimes. Mum walks in, looking smaller somehow, less certain. She spots us and makes her way over. Oakley, we need to talk. Mrs. Porter, Eli stands. Given the pending criminal charges, any discussion should go through your lawyer. This is family business, she snaps, then turns to me with pleading eyes. Honey, please, your father's heart condition, he can't handle this stress. Interesting. I take another sip of coffee. You never worried about stress when you were forging my signature. We did it for Travis. You did it for yourselves, I correct her, because fixing things properly was too hard, too expensive. Easier to cut corners and make me the bad guy when I pointed out problems. You always were so small-hearted, she spits. So concerned with your precious rules and regulations. Family should come first. I stand slowly gathering my documents. Family did come first, Mum. Your version of family just never included me. The contractors are saying it'll cost over $200,000 to bring everything up to code. Her voice cracks. We'll lose the house. You should have thought about that before you tried to sell mine. That was Travis's idea. And you went along with it, like always. I turn to Eli. I believe you have everything you need? He nods, collecting his files. The DA will be in touch about testimony. Mum grabs my arm as I pass. You'd really testify against your own parents? No. I gently remove her hand. I'm just going to tell the truth. You're the ones who turned that into a weapon. Outside, the autumn air carries the scent of wood smoke. Eli walks me to my car. You know, he says carefully, I remember you in high school, always taking care of everyone else, always being the responsible one. Not anymore. Good. He hands me one last document. By the way, the city's condemning the main house until repairs are made. They'll need to vacate by Friday. My phone lights up with a call from Dad. I decline it. They'll try to move into the guest house, I realise. Already handled, Eli assures me. It's been red-tagged due to Travis's demolition work. No one's allowed to occupy it until structural repairs are completed. Through the coffee shop window, I can see Mom on her phone, probably calling Travis. Always Travis. You know what the worst part is? I tell Eli as we watch her pace. They still don't understand what they did wrong. In their minds, I'm still the unreasonable one. The evidence says otherwise, he pats his briefcase. 17 counts of fraud tend to clarify things. Another text from Travis. Where am I supposed to go? You've ruined everything. I think about the guest house, my sanctuary turned battlefield, about the years spent making it beautiful while they plotted to take it away. What happens to them now? I ask Eli. Best case? Heavy fines, probation, mandatory repairs. Worst case? Your parents face jail time for the fraud, and Travis gets charged with criminal destruction of property. Mum emerges from the coffee shop, mascara running. She doesn't look at me as she hurries to her car. They always said I was too intense about following rules, I tell Eli. Too rigid, too unforgiving. Sometimes, he replies, being right feels a lot like being alone. I watch Mum's car disappear around the corner, carrying away 27 years of expectations and obligations. Not alone, I correct him, just free. My phone buzzes one final time, the family group chat dissolving into chaos as reality sets in. I delete it without reading. Some foundations can't be fixed once they're broken. The lake house windows catch the morning sun as I finish installing the last of the custom shelving. Behind me, Amber whistles appreciatively. You did all this yourself? Every inch, I run my hand along the smooth wood, with permits, inspections and receipts filed in triplicate. My phone buzzes, a news alert about the class action lawsuit against Dad's illegal contracting work. The settlement numbers make me wince. Have you seen the real estate listing? Amber pulls it up on her tablet. Your parents' house is still on the market, as is fixer-upper serious inquiries only. No takers? Would you buy a house with 17 documented code violations? The doorbell rings. It's Elizabeth carrying a familiar box. Found these in my attic, she sets it down carefully. Your old renovation journals. Thought you might want them for your new project. I open the box, finding years of detailed notes, sketches and plans. Everything I learned while making the guest house beautiful, everything they took for granted. Speaking of projects, Amber grins, tell her about the consulting business. 3 clients already, I smile, pulling out my portfolio, helping homeowners navigate permits, inspections and renovations. Turns out there's a market for doing things properly. Elizabeth picks up a framed document from my desk, my new contractor's license. Your mother called yesterday, she says carefully. Travis moved back in with them. They're living in a rental apartment while trying to sell the house. Dad's heart condition magically improved once the fraud charges were filed, Amber adds, dryly. My phone rings. It's Sarah, my lawyer. Good news, she says when I answer. All claims against you have been dropped. Your documentation was too thorough for them to challenge. And the guest house? Given your proof of investment and their documented fraud, they can't touch it. Though with the structural damage Travis caused, it's essentially a rebuild. I look out at the lake, where a pair of loons dive for fish. Let it go. I've got something better now. A text from Eli pops up. Thought you'd want to know, 3 more homeowners came forward about unpermitted work. Your father's contracting license has been permanently revoked. Karma's got a hell of a work ethic, Amber comments, reading over my shoulder. Elizabeth helps me unpack the last box of tools, arranging them on my new workbench. Each one carries a memory of something I learned, something I built, something I earned. Oh, she pauses, pulling out a photo. Remember this? It's me at 12, helping Travis with homework. The same photo I packed from the guest house. Keep it, I tell her. That version of me doesn't live here. The autumn breeze carries the sound of boats on the lake, of birds calling, of life moving forward. My phone buzzes with another text. Mom, please come home. We can fix this. I think about the word home, about how it's not always where you're from, but where you finally learn to stand your ground. Already am home, I text back, then block the number. Amber opens a bottle of wine as Elizabeth sets out lunch on my new deck, the one I built myself, with proper permits and premium materials. To karma, Amber raises her glass. To consequences, Elizabeth adds. To doing things right, I finish, watching sunlight dance on the water. A final email arrives from Sarah. Settlement papers ready for signature. Once filed, you'll have no further legal or financial obligations to your family. You know what the best revenge is? I ask, setting my phone down. Building something beautiful for yourself while karma handles the rest. Elizabeth examines my newest blueprints, plans for converting the lake house's boathouse into a workshop space. Everything meticulously detailed, every regulation considered, every step properly permitted. You're not angry anymore, she observes. No, I agree, picking up my favourite screwdriver. I'm just building better things. Amber raises an eyebrow at my toolbox. Starting with? A life without compromises, I smile, heading toward the boathouse with my plans in hand. Want to help? They follow me into the afternoon sun, carrying measuring tapes and levels, ready to create something new. Behind us, my phone lights up one last time. Travis asking for money, Mom pleading for reconciliation, Dad demanding respect. But I'm too busy building my own foundation to notice. Some structures aren't meant to be saved. Some need to fall so better ones can rise. And this time I'm building for me. The lake stretches out before us, reflecting endless possibilities. I unfold my blueprints, pick up my pencil and start planning the next beautiful thing. No shortcuts, no compromises, no looking back. Just forward, one perfectly measured step at a time.